Breaking news. President Trump has officially nominated Kevin Warsh as the new Fed chair. All this is happening while crypto, stocks, and precious metals took a nosedive. In today's video, we'll be talking about all of this, going over the most recent Bitcoin price action, and I'll be taking you through why, one, I don't think that a massive rotation is happening, but two, it doesn't matter because this market still provides some excellent opportunities. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So it's official, President Trump selects Kevin Warsh as the new Fed chair. Warsh has been an advocate for a structural overhaul of the Federal Reserve and a new Treasury Fed Accord. His position is that an AI-driven productivity boom is inherently disinflationary, providing the basis for aggressive rate cuts. He also contends that the Fed's balance sheet has been used to subsidize Wall Street and should be reduced significantly, signaling a strong stance against QE. So, we'll have to see what actually happens, but something you need to consider here is that I don't think a rotation will be occurring. I know that this narrative has been spinned a lot on crypto Twitter. People are going to leave precious metals and jump into crypto, but remember, crypto is the riskiest of asset classes. And naturally, when the stock market gets a little bit of a dump, which basically got retraced back to the upside, crypto struggles. Now, from a trading perspective, if you've been watching me, you know that I am still shorting Bitcoin and I will likely continue to hold on to this position. My next take profit on my most recent Bitcoin short, where I entered around $97,000, is 80K. So I've already secured some profits, but I want to keep the rest of this position because I ultimately do think that Bitcoin will be moving lower. I'll keep you updated if I make any adjustments to this trade. And speaking of trades, my long that I entered at the lows when Bitcoin initially crashed to $80,000 has been stopped out at break even after I've secured most of the profits. You can see here, this was all shared in my free group. This, along with my short where I entered at around $97,000. And a reminder before we continue the video, if you want access to all of my own personal trades, you do have the first link in my description down below. DM me the keyword 2026 on Telegram, and I'd be happy to onboard you into my free group where I share all of my own personal trades before I come on the YouTube channel and share them with you. Also, another reminder, I am not a financial advisor. Please remember that nothing that I discuss on this channel should be construed as financial advice. I'm just a guy on the internet trading the market, sharing all of his own trades and how he's operating in this market on a daily basis. Now, let's get back to the charts. So you can see that Bitcoin did get a pretty steep dump. Now, I do think that it's only a matter of time before we break 80K, unfortunately. And so if this is to break, the next key area of support that you want to pay attention to is essentially this cluster, which coincides with the tariff capitulation event of last year. In this bear market, which I hope you can see that we're now in, Bitcoin could easily drop to this previous cluster over here. Now that could bring Bitcoin all the way down to its 200-day moving average, sub $60,000. I am a buyer if Bitcoin starts going below $70,000. Some of you were asking me, why would I start buying if Bitcoin might go way, way lower? Now, the answer to that is because no one can time the perfect bottoms. So the idea here is, let's assume you have a cash position. That represents 100%. As Bitcoin heads a little bit lower, you slowly start dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. Now, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just sharing with you what I will personally be doing. So for example, if Bitcoin drops below $70,000, maybe I'll allocate somewhere between 5 and 10% of my cash position into Bitcoin. And the lower we go, the more that I dollar cost average into to get a better entry. I hope that makes sense. I do think that if history is to repeat, we will probably bottom out 1 year from the high because this typically happens every single cycle. I don't think it makes sense to fade the 4-year cycle. Now, I don't think that the drawdown will be as significant as the previous cycles, but we will still have significant drawdown. So we can probably bottom sometime around September, October of this year. In the short term, I will continue to trade the price action that's right in front of me. And if you want to join me in trading that price action, you do have my community, which is the first link in my description down below. Let's talk about gold and silver because a lot of you have been asking about this. Look, silver dropped literally over 20% in less than 24 hours. That's a pretty significant drop. And you can see how this impacted crypto. Gold dropped as well, and crypto did not catch a bid. Therefore, I don't think that this rotation rotation will occur. It doesn't make sense to get your hopes up on a rotation. But it's not all doom and gloom. If you learn to be patient and trade the market and wait for excellent, deep, discounted opportunities in crypto, that is how you'll set yourself up for success in the next bull run. Because to be perfectly clear, I still firmly believe in the asset class. I do think Bitcoin will outperform in the coming years, but patience is really important to capitalize on these opportunities that we are about to get. Now, something else I want you to understand. The liquidation heat map is crazy with shorts. So if we take a look at the 30-day time frame, what you'll notice here is there is around 13 billion worth of cumulative short liquidation leverage, and on the left here there is around 1 billion worth of cumulative long liquidation leverage, and this would bring us all the way down to 72k. So what this means is a lot of people are now shorting in this market, and this is actually good fuel for a potential short squeeze. Now, it doesn't have to happen immediately, but usually when you get this kind of Bitcoin exchange liquidation map, we do see a squeeze to the upside. So I'm calling it now. My next big trade will likely be a swing long in this market. Now, this wouldn't be a swing long targeting all-time highs because I don't think that Bitcoin will be hitting an all-time high this year. I do think we are confirmed in a bearish trend, but it could be a $5,000 to $10,000 move to the upside after Bitcoin finds its bottom. At this point in time, I'm very, very content with my short. I will continue to hold on to this position. If you were watching me, I was quite vocal about entering the short around $97,000. A lot of people were very bullish, and now you can see how the price action developed. We were going right into resistance. Everyone was euphoric, and therefore it made sense to go short because the trend is still down. But at this point in time, I think it makes sense to be patient and look for a potential swing long in this market, targeting a lot of these late shorters. We have a massive cluster of shorts right around $93,000. And why is that a significant level? Well, you guessed it, we still have that CME gap to the upside around 93k. So a potential scenario here for Bitcoin could be that we sweep the lows and then we get another bounce and then we end up rolling over even further. That might sound frustrating, but believe me, if you can trade this price action, you can essentially create a bigger cash stack to be able to buy near the bear market bottoms. And that's what I've been trying to educate you on. I'm trading the market that's right in front of me, trying to make as much money as possible. And then when we get near those bear market lows, I will deploy heavily in preparation for the next massive run. Those of you that have been watching the channel for quite some time know that I was vocally bearish on altcoins most of this crypto cycle. And I was actually stacking Bitcoin sub $30,000. So what this allows you to do is be relatively stress-free in this uptrend because you know that most of your dollars have been allocated towards Bitcoin. You can sit back, relax, watch the market go absolutely parabolic again, because yes, I do think that we will get another cycle as we have seen time and time again. It doesn't make sense to fade the 4-year cycle. Now, what I wanted to show you here is this is how the 4-year cycle tends to play out. We hold this level as support, we drop. We hold the significant level as support, we drop. Right now, we are at that level. If you take a look at the Bitcoin chart, this is essentially the level that you want to pay attention to. So if Bitcoin starts losing $80,000, in my opinion, that's the point in time where we're going to be targeting the mid 70k zone. That shouldn't worry you. It should be an opportunity to trade this market. Actually, speaking of trading, I want you to know that we do have a fantastic promotion on Bluffin if you're looking forward to trading this market. If you sign up with the second link in my description down below and you deposit into Bluffin and you start trading, you'll get free futures bonuses, and also based on your trading volume, you'll also get some more free futures bonuses. If you're already trading the market, this is a no-brainer. Make sure to sign up with the second link in my description down below, and once you sign up, you can also get access to my free Telegram community. Now, spot ETFs. We need to talk about this because we got basically $1 billion in outflows, and we also saw this chart, the Coinbase Premium Index, still in deep red. Now, I wouldn't be calling for some kind of massive relief rally, but I do think we will be getting a bounce at some point in time, and I will look to trade it. I'll share it in my group, and then I'll come on the YouTube channel and discuss it, similar to how I did with my Bitcoin short from around $97,000. Now, I wanted to go over a couple of pieces of news. Binance essentially came out and said that they're going to be buying $1 billion worth of Bitcoin with their reserves. So what they're going to do here is within the next 30 days, they should be buying around $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. Now, some people rightfully pointed out that this probably won't have that big of an impact on the market. This guy is a little bit more positive. Binance announced conversion of 1 billion fund into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and BNB. Bitcoin pumped 250% in a year. This was from back in March of 2023. ETH pumped 200%, and the crypto market cap added 1.8 trillion. January 2026, Binance announced basically the same. Something you need to understand though is just because Binance announced this, it doesn't actually mean that the market is just going to absolutely pump, because we've also been tracking some wallets, and Binance are amongst the exchanges that are actually selling their Bitcoin. This guy put it perfectly. It's all smoke and mirrors. In reality, they're going to nuke 10 billion in their books for every 1 billion that they buy. So be careful with this. Don't just assume that we're going to get a massive pump. Now, from a trading perspective, my next big trade, as I've put it, will likely be a swing long. I have not entered anything quite yet. All my longs are officially closed in this market. And we continue to break records with these liquidations, 1.7 billion in liquidations in the past 24 hours. Compared to the COVID crash, compared to the FTX crash, it is technically more significant. But again, it's all about how you view this, because if you take a look at the adjusted liquidations to the total crypto market cap, it is actually far less significant. You can see here for the approximate values of the total crypto market cap, the COVID crash, where we had 1.2 billion in liquidation, about 0.85%. The FTX crash, 1.6 billion, around 0.19%. And then today, 1.7 billion, 0.059%. It's all a matter of perspective. Some people will try to convince you that it's the end of the world. It really isn't. This is normal bear market price action for Bitcoin, and all we can really do is trade the market that is right in front of us. Now, 0 Democrats voted in favor of advancing the crypto market structure legislation in the Senate Agriculture Committee. This is ultimately expected, some would say. And while this is happening, El Salvador actually bought $50 million worth of gold. These guys have been buying Bitcoin religiously, and now they're pivoting to gold. Very, very interesting to see. And in terms of another development in the US, David Sachs came out and said that the US is one step closer to becoming the crypto capital of the world. How many times have you heard this? What does this actually mean? And honestly, this is the exact reaction that I have to this. I've heard this at least 30 times this cycle, and nothing has really changed. Let's see how the price action develops. All I can really tell you is try to remain level-headed and look for opportunities in this market to trade. I know for a fact that a lot of people in the industry have been conditioned to only go long and look for longs in this market. And while my next big trade will likely be a swing long, hopefully a $5,000 to $10,000 move to the upside after we can manage to sweep some more significant lows, I need you to understand that you can also short this market. We are in a confirmed bearish trend, and it makes no sense to fade the historical bear market of crypto. More opportunities will come, and if you're willing to stick to it and tune into this market every single day, watch my videos every single day, I'd be more than happy to guide you throughout this bear market so we can take advantage of the opportunities that are right in front of us and then stack near the bear market bottoms. And that sums up today's quick video. As much as it pains me to say, I don't think we will see some kind of massive rotation from precious metals to crypto. Crypto is the riskiest of asset classes, and therefore I am expecting continued downside. That being said, from a trading perspective, I am now actively looking for swing longs in this market. I do think Bitcoin will be tagging below $80,000, and then we'll have to assess how the price action develops before I enter my next big trade. If you enjoy the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. I have my bluff and leverage trading tutorial right here, and I'll see you in the next video.